Long Island International Film Expo was born so that independent filmmakers of all levels and budgets could get their work screened for the public. The first year we had the festival, we had about 3 months to put it together, and we managed to find 40 films. We showed every single one of them. We really want to work with filmmakers that don't have any other avenues. I mean, it has to be quality work, but we want these people who are sometimes beginning filmmakers to be able to get their start.
There are independent filmmakers who can't break down the door of a studio to get in and make a studio film. They won't take a chance. There's too much money involved. But here's a kid who comes along with a couple of $1,000 in some cases, or maybe 50, or maybe 100,000, who has a dream. He wants to put it on celluloid, and he does it. The independent films gives him that opportunity, and that's why I love it so much.
I'm from Long Island. The film is based on an incident that happened on Long Island. I still reside for the most part in Long Island with my family, and the folks with the Nassau County Film Commission had something to do with me finding the place to shoot this film.
The whole scope of it is all Long Island. Like in the film, there's one scene where the girl has to take a train into the city to visit her father. Mm-hmm. So anything like that, people can totally relate to living on Long Island, and that's, you know, all local locations, restaurants, the railroad, all other stuff like that.
Debbie Markowitz was an inspiration. Anytime I came up against any dilemma or anything, she was right there to help me out and to bail me out of the film. Whatever location we wound up at, a new opportunity always presented itself. There was always something else magical that happened that enhanced the scene or the day for us. It was beautiful.
I think Long Island very often is in the shadow of the city, but there's a lot of great culture and a lot of wonderful things and certain things that the city doesn't have. Beaches, some beautiful nature walks, and I mean, you got the Montauk, you got so many things in Long Island that makes it a unique place unto itself.
Well, I've shot on Long Island several times, and I know that there's a great range of settings and, you know, arenas that looks like you can find from, you know, a very flat shore-like area to mountainous, you know, hilly trees. So it has a lot to offer. So it's a great place to come and find a location.
Sweet Jesus, it's my pa.
What? Ah!
He gonna kill you.
I'm gonna kill you, you Yankee son of...
With the resources here on Long Island and actually the community help and the town and the counties, it made it a lot easier than I think most people think. I mean, everybody would just bend over backwards if you're making a picture. They just wanted to help, and I just can't, if it wasn't for the town officials, I think, and the county officials, it wouldn't have been done without their help. And they were just amazing, and it's great because I think they see that with the Long Island, with the resources and the climate and all the different locations. I mean, you have various locations that it's a lot of potential to make really major films here on the island.
That's a good one. I'll have that. Damn.
For some filmmakers, it's a lifelong dream just to be accepted into the Long Island Film Expo. For some, it's an excellent opportunity for them to show their original works. For others, it can help launch their careers.
Get a good grip on it. Now, the first thing is to learn how to hold it properly. Relax. Don't squeeze too hard. You have to caress it. Hold it with both of your hands at all times. The most important thing to remember is protection.
They're small budget films. They're about stories that people like to know about people, of the kinds of films that are no longer being made in the United States or anywhere for that matter, with the exception of maybe over in Europe. They're pictures that we have forgotten about, but because of the independent films, we have the opportunity to see them.
My movies are very important to be seen. They're documentaries, which is a way of me sharing my experiences and bringing different cultures and different situations to the American people. It was filmed in Senegal, West Africa, and it's a healing ceremony for the emotionally ill or mentally ill, and it's very sacred and culturally very private.
Well, it's a father-daughter reconciliation story at Christmas time, basically. And this Stephanie is the main character in the film, hasn't spoken to her father since he left her mother for a younger woman, and now he's come creeping back into her life and wants her to meet his new infant daughter, so her half-sister. And it just brings up all kinds of old wounds and whatnot right around Christmas time.
I didn't know he'd been writing you.
I didn't have a chance to tell you yet. I've worked with Matt and Rich before on other films, and they've just helped me along. And Matt had me in mind for this role, and I was more than honored to come and portray Stephanie. A lot of the issues in the film hit close to home for me, so it was a really personal story to tell, but it was still a fantastic creative process for me as an actress.
You know, if you don't think she can handle it, just don't tell her.
Now, isn't that stupid?
Well, you know, maybe it would be better that way.
Right. So when she finds out, she can get mad at me for not telling her.
Just don't tell her that you knew.
I can't believe you.
Are you done untangling those things yet?
I'm working on it.
The film's about a little girl whose father takes her to a gun range to teach her how to shoot a gun, and I actually had that experience myself, so that was the inspiration.
Come on, loosen up. Loosen up.
I guess it's kind of lighter than I thought.
Because it's not loaded. Just get used to how it feels in your hands. Come on, you can do this. Now, stand up straight and take control of the situation. Some guy comes in the house, threatens you, pop! Right between the eyes.
Love Thy Brother is based on something that happened to me and my brother when we were kids on Long Island, about an hour east of here. So it was based on something that happened to us, and it was always a story I told to many filmmakers, and they would always say, wow, what a great opening to a movie, or what a great idea, you know, to open a movie about two brothers, antagonistic brothers, and their sibling rivalry, and how, and just give a slice of that suburban sibling rivalry that I grew up with. So that's where it came from. So it was nice for it to be very close to me, and also to be able to shoot it here. I think it's important to write and direct what you know.
Ironically, he seems only to have made off with a handful of costume jewelry, a Game Boy cartridge, and other possessions of limited value. If you have any information regarding this heinous crime, please contact the Nassau County Police Department at 1-800-5...
What kind of monster would do something like this?
Nailed is about a young guy who has a brief fling with a woman, and she gets pregnant, and he decides to do kind of the contrary thing and decides to have the baby with her, to encourage her to have it, to make a go of it when all his friends and family think it's the most ridiculous thing to do.
I'm so pleased you decided to trample on everything we believe in, everything we taught you. Ecstatic you're about to ruin your own life when this blows up in your goddamn face. You see your kid on vacations and during the summer. That is, if you can find her.
So you're willing to lose your son because of this, because of his mistakes?
We've lost him. He didn't just leave home. He moved as far away as he could. We see him 3 times a year. He has no right to make us suffer the rest of it. I'm not going to!
It's about Mickey Stern, who's going to be playing for the New York Yankees. He's a 17-year-old kid, 50 years ago. He comes out to Fire Island, and he meets the girl of his dreams, falls in love. He's excited. He's going to play for the Yankees. Everything's going to go his way. It doesn't. Now he comes back 50 years later, and he walks into the local market, and he sees the woman he fell in love with just as she was 50 years ago. And he has 1 week to make sure that the mistakes that were made 50 years ago aren't repeated.
Go away, Harry. Mickey, you need to stop this. You're luckier than most people.
Lucky.
Yeah, you are.
She comes back into my life. I finally have her. And I blink my eye and she's gone. Lucky my ass.
Life is a blink of an eye. You at least have tasted love. Some people never do.
Well, I wish I never did.
Ah. There's plenty of room for you. You're only 67.
Harry, do me a favor. Just go away.
Just listen to me for a second, huh? I want you to look at this. The doctor on Fire Island. He gave this to me to give to you. There are boxes out there waiting for you. It's from her. Leah's things are out there. From when she was a girl. He's gonna throw them out if you don't get them.
There's a Broadway play in Sal Mineo and Keir Delay. Actually, Sal Mineo was murdered, I don't know if you remember, 2 weeks before the opening in Los Angeles. And it was received really, really well. And it played San Francisco, New York, LA, and then through the last 25 years going all over the country. So it's been great.
Dad! Dad!
You're reaching.
Now, the ball breaker got a call from the cat hospital. She was really choked up, too. She said you love that mangy flea bag. I was just waiting for her to drop the bomb. But I guess she wanted to keep the good news to herself.
The Empath is the name of the film, and it is a story about a soul that's traveling through time and accidentally gets released from the body of this young boy during an experiment back in the 70s. The film is starring Dan Lauria, who most people know from The Wonder Years, but also been in films like Stakeout and Independence Day. Paige Turco, who currently I believe is on The Agency for CBS, and a lot of kids actually knew Paige from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. She played April, which I didn't even realize until kids started running up to her.
Shh! Don't you know that you have to be quiet in a library? What you mean? Where are you from? What are you looking for?
Ancient mythology, right?
Mythology? Ancient? What's that? The legend of Bigfoot.
Okay, I'm checking that out for myself.
Anyway, look. You're not going to find what you're looking for in any of these books.
Why not?
We do this for a living, you know.
That's a little frightening.
What the film is a total recreation of what a silent comedy was like, as if it was actually shot in the late 1920s. That's cars, clothes, sets, the wakes. But I've always loved and collected films from the teens, 20s, and 30s. So I wanted to emulate what I really worshipped, and had such a reverence for. And then I saw as a child the comic with Dick Van Dyke, and how he so perfectly recreated the silent film look of the genre. He created marvelously. And I said, I have to do that. That's what I'm on this earth.
Let's call it a day. The character's name is Louis Cropper. He owned a restaurant called Gigino's in New York, and it was a wonderful character. I played with some very wonderful people. This was truly an independent film where the actor doesn't make too much money, but that is not his objective. His objective is to get on the screen and do something that deserves to be on the screen, even if it requires him not making a penny to do so. Dinner Rush was that kind of movie, and trust me, I made insignificant money.
My name is Marty, and I'll be your waitress this evening.
My name's Fitzgerald. I'll be your customer.
Well, my character is actually an enemy of Danny Aiello's, who plays the lead, the owner of the restaurant, and he's like a small-time bookmaker. And now he decides at this stage in his life that his restaurant's so successful, he doesn't want to be in the bookmaking business anymore. So now he has a degenerate chef, gambler, who comes to me to take his action. And then you see accordingly what happens.
If I took money from your salary for the next 10 years, you still wouldn't settle up our debt. Bob Giraldi is one of the greatest television commercial men that has ever lived. Also a feature director, as you know.
It's great to work for Bob for two reasons. Ironically, he's a perfectionist, but he's a short take perfectionist. Bob will get it in 5 takes, I'd say, maximum. But he knows exactly what he wants.
Your boy lost his bet. He's into us for 13 large.
Danny Aiello plays a dual role of a restaurateur and a bookmaker in a nice section of downtown Manhattan, and he's up against the new changing world and passing of generations, and his young son who's a brilliant chef. And it's and it sort of mirrors a little bit of what my experiences have been in the restaurant world. And my experiences have been growing up. So it's a great fun, and you leave hungry.
Unbelievable. Only in New York can you count on a double murder to triple your business.
You really think so?
Where did you raise the financing for the film?
I'm a student. I'm actually just graduated from Columbia Film School in New York. So actually it was my parents who helped me.
This film for me was more of a calling card for hopefully for myself to do other work as a director, filmmaker. So the money was, I usually make the joke saying it was the MCI approach, your friends and family.
For mine, it's always personal financing, save up the money and do the thing and scrimp and save along the way, and that's it.
Well, a lot of it came out of my own pocket. I've been, working in film and television for about 9 years now. So, a lot of my after-tax money that I stocked away to put into this. And then a lot of it came from really great supporters. I'm really lucky to have a lot of fellow industry folk who really believe in me as a filmmaker and who really wanted to help out where they could. So, I was fortunate enough to get free gifts of, all my 35mm camera stock that was fresh stock from Kodak and, things like that, which really, take a big chunk out of what you really need to get your hands on cash-wise.
I got lucky. Someone I know who responded to the script, who felt the passion that kind of Keitel did, had the money to invest, and he did. He put it on the line and gave me a break, big break.
Friends, family, and the old-fashioned way credit cards.
The financing was raised through 2 executive producers primarily. First executive producer is Barry J. Charles, and the second one is Joseph Brad Kluge. One's in New York and one's in Los Angeles, and it was great. I don't actually know most of the investors, so I'm very grateful to them, even though I don't know them.
There are several guys that I've seen get into it, and they were championing this whole thing because you could go out with digital cameras and shoot a full-length feature in maybe 2 weeks because you can have a smaller crew and you can get it all done. You can sneak into places and steal shots and stuff. So he directed it, and it was our first digital feature. He's now doing a second one called Bloodhead, but he's on location now doing that. But we actually filmed it with these XL1 cameras, which are the Canon cameras with the interchangeable lens, and they're quite amazing at what you can get done with them.
I wanted to shoot it on 35mm, mainly because that's what I understood and what I knew, and most of the film work I did as an actor was on 35. Not that I'm not open to the digital technology now. You're able to put a camera in anybody's hand, and that's, you can make your own movies and cut it on your own computers.
And now we would like to share a tribute to some of the other filmmakers who also participated in this year's Expo.
Sir?
Excuse me?
What do you say to your second self when you see it for the first time?
Well, catch you later, Lieutenant.
It took me 16 months to make a day's train ride. "16 months and a trunk full of letters."
Oh, Lord.
Oh, hey, Miss Cooper, it's me. I'm still here. Oh, Lord, I was looking for Dottie's dog dish and her food, you know, seeing as she don't really need it no more, and I couldn't find it anywhere. When I was looking, I slipped on that little ruggy thing you have at the top of the stairs. Not a real good place for that. I fell halfway down the stairs, twisted my back. Well, it's hurting a whole lot right now, and I thought I'd just go lie down for a bit.
The idea of the stone came as a result of a visit to Arlington National Cemetery on the 20th anniversary of the founding of the LIIFE Experience School. I went to Bobby Kennedy's grave and noticed that people were walking up the hill, so I decided to follow them. And it was clear where they were going and where I would end up, at the tomb of the unknown soldier. I thought to myself, it's really a shame that we as a nation don't have any way of commemorating the loss of life of people out of uniform, that there is no memorial, there is no stone that, that touches on the fact that civilians die side by side with soldiers.
In the mid-1990s came the World Wide Web, and with it, a whole new way of thinking about the economy and the workplace. And guys like me, your humble host, Chaz Maston, suddenly got business cards that said things like Internet Engineer on them. I gave up my job as a comic rap artist.
Easterling, taco burrito, Easterling, taco burrito, Easterling, taco burrito.
It wasn't going too well.
Do you have distribution for the film?
We have a video deal, so it'll be hopefully in Blockbuster soon. We have a pay TV deal or a cable deal, and theatrical we're working on now. So we have a distribution company, who bought it, so they're working on it.
You know, we have one distributor, Hypnotic, who is going to distribute it internationally, and then we're negotiating with HBO now to get all the pieces together so it could. You know, there's just steps you have to take, but that's all in the works, and hopefully next year, or in the next 6 months, it'll be, on cable.
I have a cable distribution deal with the Sundance Channel, and the film's now airing on that. And I also have a both online as well as international rights with Hypnotic, which is part of Universal's. I think that's our parent company.
We've got offers, and we're waiting till we finish our festival cycle. We're off after this to Stony Brook and then to the San Diego Film Festival, both of which we're very excited about. But once we start to wrap up our festival run, we'll be picking our offers and coming out theatrically and then on cable and VHS, DVD, and then foreign.
We do have a great distributor, TLA, which is one of the largest video companies in the country, and now getting into film distribution, and quite a strong company. They're based out of Philly and Manhattan.
What's next for you?
Well, I'm actually in pre-production right now on another short film, which will actually be my third. Rather was my second. And I'm also working on a project which I planned as my directorial debut as a feature, but I have so much material on this because it's based upon someone's true life story that it seems like maybe it may develop into a miniseries.
I'm doing a film in Manhattan called The Loser. We start shooting in 3 weeks, and it's a comedy, actually like a screwball comedy, and it's about a guy that's trying to kill his wife. And how he does it is he feeds her to death.
What do you see for the future?
I'd like to direct feature films.
What are your plans?
Just more. Go on to my next film, keep working on my scripts, try to chase down some work.
What do you see for yourself for the future?
Well, we're shooting our next one in August, upstate in Sullivan County, maybe a little bit in Long Island, and it's a little bit of a different story, but it's a darker story, but it's a comedy.
Right.
And it's called The Boys of Summer, and it's set in 1985, so it'll be fun to do a period piece.
An event such as this could not be pulled off without the hard work and dedication of special individuals and organizations, such as the Long Island Film and Television Foundation and the Nassau County Film Commission.